Welcome all. Today we are going to learn one more important topic in life process. All living organisms need energy to carry out various physical and metabolic activities. The energy which we need to do various activities is obtained from the food we eat. We all know that plants manufacture their own food by a process called photosynthesis. The food manufactured by the plants is in the form of complex organic molecules called carbohydrates. The process by which these carbohydrate molecules are broken down to release energy is called respiration. Respiration is the word taken from Latin language. Respire means to breathe. The process of breaking down glucose to release energy is called respiration. Glucose breaks down after it combines with oxygen only. The body gets oxygen through a process called breathing. The glucose combines with oxygen and produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy. The energy released in this process is in the form of ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. The energy used to carry out biological functions is necessary for the survival of the living organisms. The energy released is stored in energy-rich chemical substances called adenosine triphosphate or ATP. The total ATP molecules produced by oxidation of one glucose molecules are 38 in number. The ATP molecules that are stored in the cells can be broken down at any time to release energy for various metabolic activities. Thus, the process of conversion of glucose in the food to energy-rich ATP molecules with the help of oxygen, during which carbon dioxide and water are released as byproducts, is known as respiration. This entire process of respiration takes place partially in the cytoplasm and partially in the mitochondria. Thus, this process of respiration which takes place in cells is called as cellular respiration. This cellular respiration process is similar both in plants and animals. Respiration process has two main stages: external respiration or breathing, internal respiration or cellular respiration. External respiration or breathing is a mechanical process that involves inhaling air rich in oxygen into the lungs and exhaling air rich in carbon dioxide from the lungs. Inhaling means breathing in or taking in air. Exhaling means breathing out or giving out air. Internal respiration or cellular respiration is a biochemical process that involves oxidation of glucose molecules to release energy, along with carbon dioxide and water as byproducts. The number of times we breathe in and breathe out air in a minute is called respiration rate. Many scientists conducted various experiments to know actually what we breathe in and what we breathe out. Van Helmont, for the first time, he observed that while burning charcoal, it leads to the formation of ash. He found that the weight of ash is much less as compared to the charcoal. On this basis, he concluded that the decreased mass was due to the formation of an invisible substance which he named as gas. Later on, one more scientist in 1756 named Joseph Black studied about this gas in more detail. He found that when limestone is heated or reacted with acids, it gives rise to a gas which he called it as fixed air. He studied several properties of this gas. One of the properties was when lime water is treated with carbon dioxide, it turns milky. Later on, various studies were conducted and discovered that the gas which turns lime water into milky is called as carbon dioxide. Like that, few more scientists they conducted experiments about the gas which we inhale. What does it contain? Oxygen was discovered by Joseph Priestley. He published many of his experiments on different kinds of airs, like plants release one kind of air that was inhaled by animals, and animals release one kind of air that was used by the plants. He discovered that although a candle burnt in a closed container, when he kept a living spring like mint into the container, he observed that the candle still glowing. From this, he understood that the gas which was used by the candle is replaced by the mint plant. The studies of the Priestley was still more further studied by Lavoisier. Lavoisier conducted many experiments on atmospheric air, and he knew that it contained many gases. He identified the Priestley's discovery as the active component of the air which had been he searching for, and Lavoisier called that component of air which plays an important role as oxygen. Depending on the presence or absence of oxygen, respiration is divided into or classified into two different types. They are aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is a process when the oxidation of glucose molecule takes place in the presence of oxygen. In this process, glucose is completely oxidized to form carbon dioxide and water along with large amount of energy. It takes place mostly in higher animals and plants. In aerobic respiration, about 38 ATP molecules are released from oxidation of one glucose molecule. Anaerobic respiration, when the oxidation of glucose takes place in the absence of oxygen, it is called as anaerobic respiration. In this process, glucose is not completely oxidized to form carbon dioxide and water. Rather, it is oxidized to produce ethyl alcohol or lactic acid. This process takes place in some lower organisms such as bacteria and yeast. The released energy is very less. Only 2 ATP molecules are released from oxidation of one glucose molecule. When we see the differences between these two processes, aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen. In aerobic respiration, complete oxidation of food or glucose molecules takes place. 38 ATP molecules are produced by the oxidation of one glucose molecule. Along with high amount of energy, carbon dioxide and water also released as end products. In anaerobic respiration, it takes place in the absence or when the oxygen is available in less amount. Incomplete oxidation of food takes place. Only 2 ATP molecules are produced by the oxidation of one glucose molecule. With small amount of energy, ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide are produced as end products. Like how respiration is a process in which energy is released, there is one more process by which energy is released. That process is called as combustion. What happens when we burn a piece of wood? When we burn piece of wood, heat and light are produced. Oxygen is also used in this process and carbon dioxide is also given out. Though the process of respiration is similar to combustion, there are many differences between these two processes. Let us see the differences between respiration and combustion. Respiration occurs in living cells. Combustion will not occur in living cells. Respiration takes place at room temperature. Coming to combustion, it takes place only at high temperature. Respiration is a slow process. Combustion is a fast process. Energy is released through respiration process in several steps and stored as ATP. Energy which is released in combustion process will be in the form of heat and light, and no energy is stored in this process. During the process of respiration, several enzymes involve and activate this process. While combustion is happening, no enzymes are involved. Respiration means the conversion of carbohydrates to carbon dioxide and water. It occurs in many steps. Coming to combustion, combustion is one step process. Carbon dioxide and water are produced in this process. Now let us see how the respiration process occur in human beings. Human beings have a well-developed respiratory system which is responsible for breathing in oxygen-rich air and breathing out carbon dioxide. The lungs play a major role in the respiratory system. These are the sites where the exchange of gases takes place. The path through which the air travels to the lungs and back into the atmosphere is called as respiratory tract. The organs which involve in the respiratory system and respiratory tract are nose, nostrils, and nasal cavity. After that, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi. These bronchi will lead into a branches like structures called bronchioles. The bronchioles open into alveolar sacs and these open into alveoli. Starting from nose and nasal cavities, air enters the body through the nostrils. The cells of nasal cavities are lined with hair which trap the dust particles present in the inhaled air and prevent them from reaching to the lungs. Inside the nose, it is also covered by a sticky fluid-like substance called mucus. The dust particles and germs stick onto the mucus and prevent from entering the lungs. The air inhaled is filtered in this form from the dust and microbes by the hair and mucus present in the nasal cavity. The air which we inhale is actually cooler than our body temperature. It is warmed by the blood vessels present in the nasal cavity, and this process of warming up air before the process of respiration is called humidification. Then from the nasal cavity, air enters into pharynx and larynx and trachea. Air enters the pharynx through the nose. Pharynx is the region behind the nose and mouth, which leads down to the throat. The lower portion of the pharynx leads to larynx. Larynx is generally known as voice box. It has folds of tissues called vocal cords. These vocal cords vibrate with the passage of air and produce sound. This is how we talk. The larynx leads to the windpipe or trachea. Trachea is further divided into two branches called bronchi inside the chest. Bronchi are the branching tubes of trachea which are called bronchi in plural. In singular, bronchus. Each bronchus leads into a lung where the branches again and again into thousands of smaller and smaller branches called bronchioles. Trachea and bronchi have C-shaped cartilaginous rings which prevent them from collapsing of these structures. From the bronchioles, air enters to microscopic air sacs called alveolar sacs. Each air sac has grouped of alveoli. The thin walls of the alveoli are richly supplied with blood capillaries. There are millions of alveoli in each lung. The bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli, all these are located in lungs. Lungs are present in pair, one left side and one on the right side. The left lung is two-lobed, whereas the right lung is three-lobed. Each lung is a spongy bag-like structure covered by pleural membrane. In between the two pleural membranes, a fluid called pleural fluid flows. This pleural fluid keeps the surface of lungs moist for easy diffusion of gases. The lungs are protected by rib cage. Below the lungs, there is a muscular sheath called diaphragm. The contraction and relaxation of this diaphragm plays a major role in breathing. The role of diaphragm: when we inhale air, our ribs moves upward and outwards as the muscles in the rib cage contract. At the same time, the diaphragm becomes flat and moves downwards due to the contraction. This helps in the expansion of rib cage, increases its volume and allows us to inhale more oxygen-rich air. As the volume of the chest cavity increases, the air pressure in it decreases. As a result, air is drawn into the lungs. When we exhale air, the diaphragm muscles relax and moves upwards. The ribs also move downwards and inwards, and the muscles gets relaxed. Thus, the space inside the chest cavity decreases and the air pressure increases. As a result, the carbon dioxide rich air rushes outside. Exchange of gases takes place at alveoli. The inhaled air reaches the alveoli after passing through trachea, bronchi and bronchioles. This air is rich in oxygen and contain very little amount of carbon dioxide. The blood capillaries which are surrounded these alveoli, they contain blood that has more carbon dioxide and less oxygen. Thus, oxygen diffuses through the thin walls of the capillaries into the blood and combines with the oxygen, forming oxyhemoglobin. The blood enriched with oxygen is carried to all cells of the body through the circulatory system. In the cells, internal respiration or cellular respiration takes place in a series of chemical reactions through which energy is produced in the form of ATP. The carbon dioxide released combines with the hemoglobin and forms carbaminohemoglobin. The blood rich in carbon dioxide leaves the cells and reaches the alveoli, from where the carbon dioxide gas is released and then exhaled out through the nose. In this way, respiration takes place in humans. Now, we'll see about the respiration in plants. Plants also need energy to perform various activities. Like animals, they too need oxygen for growth and for other life processes. Respiration is not limited to any one part of the plant. All plant cells which are present in roots, stem, leaves, buds, even in germinating seeds, fruits also, they respire very actively. In fact, the rate of respiration is very high in actively growing plants and plant parts. In plants, specialized organs are not there for the exchange of the gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, whereas in animals they have specialized organs which carry out this gaseous exchange. In plants, the gaseous exchange takes place through stomata, which are present in leaf, lenticels, which are present on stems and fruits. Respiration takes place at very slow rate in plants. The transport of gases in plants is much slower than in animals. In plants, the gases entirely move by a process called diffusion. Even in animals also, the process of exchange of gases takes place through this diffusion process only. In leaves, many pore-like openings are present on the underside. These pores are called as stomata. They provide greater surface for gaseous exchange. Now we'll see how the respiration takes place in leaves. Leaves and even young green stems, they have many pore-like structures on them. The leaves have these pore-like openings on the underside of it. These pores, they help in exchange of gases. There are many stomata on the lower surface of the leaves, allow the oxygen to move inside of the leaf and carbon dioxide outside of the leaf during respiration process. And these stomata only will help in the process of a gaseous exchange even during photosynthesis also. During photosynthesis, these stomata open and let the carbon dioxide in and oxygen out. Oxygen and water vapor leave the plant through stomata while carbon dioxide enters through these structures only. Each stoma has two bean-shaped cells called guard cells. These guard cells regulate the opening and closing of the stomata. The inner walls of the guard cells are thick than the outer walls. When the guard cells are full with water, they bulge and allow the stomata to open. When the guard cells lose water, they lose the turgidity and they close the stomata. When the stomata open, gaseous exchange takes place by the process of diffusion. In this way, respiration takes place in leaves. Even the respiration in plants is carried out through stems and roots also. Now we'll see about that process. In certain trees, the old and mature roots and hard woody stems, they are covered by bark. This bark will not allow the gaseous exchange. However, within the layer of the bark, there are very tiny openings are present which allows the gaseous exchange. These tiny openings which are present in the bark are called lenticels. These enable the oxygen to reach the intercellular spaces of inner tissues and carbon dioxide to be released into the atmosphere. These lenticels may look like scars on the bark of tree. The lenticels are also present on fruits. They are quite noticeable on apples and pears. The lenticels are visible slightly more raised than the general surface of the stem. At the base of the lenticels, they are loosely arranged, and the cells that allow gaseous exchange is through diffusion process. Respiration in roots. Respiration also takes place through roots of plants. Air present in the spaces between the soil particles is absorbed by the root hairs present on the roots. From the root hairs, the air or oxygen is supplied to all parts of the roots. Carbon dioxide is released during respiration. It will be diffused into the roots from there to the external surface through the root hairs only. Plants that grow in salty water or marshy areas, they have specialized roots called nematophores that or roots growing outside the surface of the water. These nematophores have many pores on their surface. Plants respire with the help of these nematophores. Generally, these nematophores can be seen in the plants which grow in the mangrove region. This is about respiration in plants. The respiration and photosynthesis process, they are interrelated. In respiration, whatever the gases released like carbon dioxide, it is the main component for the process of photosynthesis. That means the end products of respiration are the initial raw materials for the photosynthesis. Like that, the end products of photosynthesis, glucose and oxygen, are the initial raw materials for respiration. Respiration is the opposite of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place only during daytime in presence of light, while respiration takes place throughout the day. During photosynthesis, food is prepared using carbon dioxide, water and sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll. Oxygen is released. In respiration process, this oxygen combines with the food or glucose and they are broken down to release carbon dioxide, water and energy. Now we'll see how the photosynthesis and respiration are linked. In animals, there is only one kind of gaseous exchange takes place. That is, oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is given out. But coming to plants, here exchange of gases takes place through different processes like photosynthesis and respiration. The photosynthesis and respiration carried in plants are biochemical reactions. The process of photosynthesis, it takes place during daytime, and during photosynthesis carbon dioxide, which is the end product of respiration, is taken in and oxygen is given out. This oxygen which is given out by plants is used for respiration. In photosynthesis, energy is not produced in the form of ATP. If we see respiration, respiration takes place both during daytime and nighttime also. During respiration, oxygen is used in the cells, which is the end product of photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide is given out. Energy is released in the form of ATP. The carbon dioxide given out as a result of respiration is used up by the plants for photosynthesis during the daytime. But at night, as the photosynthesis do not takes place, the carbon dioxide is released in the process of respiration through stomata. That's why we should not stand under the plants or trees during night time. Photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. The site of photosynthesis is the chloroplast. The chloroplasts, which are present in green leaves and on green stems, they carry out photosynthesis. Respiration takes place in the mitochondria. The exchange of gases in plants for respiration takes place through stomata, lenticels, and the general surface of the roots also involved in this process. If we see the differences between respiration and photosynthesis, respiration is the process in which food is oxidized to release energy. Respiration takes place both in autotrophs and heterotrophs. Respiration takes place in the mitochondria of these cells of an organism and a plant. The respiration takes place both during day and night. Respiration requires glucose and oxygen. The end products are carbon dioxide and water. along with energy. The, the released energy is stored as ATP, and the sugars which are produced by the plants, they are the sources to release the energy in respiration process. Photosynthesis is a process by which the food is manufactured by plants using carbon dioxide and water. Photosynthesis takes place only in autotrophs and some photosynthetic bacteria. It takes place only in the cells of green plants that have chloroplasts. Photosynthesis takes place only during daytime. It requires carbon dioxide and water. Oxygen is released as the end product. During photosynthesis, it captures or it absorbs energy from sunlight and stores in the form of sugars.
That's all for today.